Hey, hey, hey! What's up, Facebook? Good morning. Happy Sunday. Oh, so I'm chilling out here in the sun. Whew. Oh, congratulations, 50th broadcast. How exciting. Chilling out here in the sun. It feels so good to have the sun shining. Looking out onto the redwood forest that I live in. So grateful for this land, for this mountain, for the ability to be in this place, right? And just heart filled with so much love. I've never been clearer in my life of what I'm doing here and why I'm here. I've never felt so clean and so clear and so positive and so empowered. And I really want to share a message because I see the activist heart awakening in all of us, right? It's awakening and it's unifying so many of us for a cause greater than ourselves. It's unifying so many of us in speaking up for others. Standing up for others. There's something so powerful in that. So this awakening that's taking place, that's unifying, is the beginning of a shift. And I want to talk to you about that today, about a shift from moving away from fear and into love, okay? And I want to be very, very clear about my own position on things to really use myself as an example, because that's the best way I can explain things is to use my own example, right? Like that's how I roll. So there is no fear left in me. And what I mean by that is as I speak up, as I stand up, I am doing so with the greatest love in my heart, the greatest love in my heart for all of this, right? Like, let's address what we're seeing about Donald Trump being a fascist and the possibility of the Holocaust taking place within our own country. And yes, I see that. I see signs. I see it all. But I'm going to tell you all something. I do not fear it. I do not. If that is our destiny to experience that experience, I have a deep inner knowing in me that I've signed up for that. And I've already made a choice of who I will be in that simply by who I'm choosing to be in this, right? I've made a choice that I have released fear of loss in me and my own ability to stand up for others. There is no fear of loss, no fear of losing my way of life. Like I recognize my way of life being a huge contribution to the problems we face on our planet. I recognize my own ignorance being a huge contribution to the problems we face on our planet. Not just for our planet, but that's where it starts for me. That's because if we don't have a planet to have these disagreements on that help us to grow, then what is the point, right? So she is definitely my first priority. And so I'm finding my activist heart to stand for the Native American peoples because they carry ancient wisdom that we are going to need moving forward. And they have stood all this time for her, for the planet, and they can teach us how to reconnect with her. So, seeing the protests taking, place at the airports to let immigrants in, to let people who are here with legal visas, legally coming into this country in. I love you, I love you, I love you. So moving forward, as your activist heart is being awakened, I want to invite you to recognize this shift and to choose to embody love, to just concrete that into you rather than fear. Right? And it may have been fear that initially motivated this awakening to take place in you. Maybe you fear what could happen here, and that awoke you. Maybe you fear seeing others hurt or imprisoned or murdered, or, maybe it was fear that motivated you to awaken your activist heart, but let it be love that fully develops where we go from here. And I say that because it is love and no fear of loss that will carry us forward. And no fear can stand in the face of love. No hate can live in the face of love. Like love is the cure to all. And no matter what teachings we follow, whether it be Jesus Christ or Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, or any teachings that we follow have all taught this same principle, right? And standing up for other people, we are standing up for our brothers and sisters in the world. We are seeing all people of the world as our people, right? We're not using any justifications any fear of loss to allow us to stop from using our voice and our physical bodies to stand for what we deeply know inside of us is right. We're not allowing fear of any loss, fear of losing a day of work to go protest, fear of losing a job, because look at some of the people standing up. Look at the judge who overrid that horrible order that is completely unjust. Like, we have people who are standing up. Look at Michigan University. Man, go Michigan! I got a lot of family in Michigan. Love Michigan for that one. Like, that was huge, right? Like, we have institutions that are standing up. So the activist heart is not only being awakened individually, is being awakened collectively, right? So I want you to understand that I do not stand up in a place of motivated by fear of what is to come. I have no fear of what is to come. It's not in me. I have no fear of where we are right now. I'm excited. I'm truly, genuinely excited because I see us moving beyond caring about our own struggles. I was having a conversation about fear of loss this morning with a dear friend. And I said, I guarantee that there are times in my life, even though I don't remember them, that it was brought into my awareness where the Native American people were probably enduring great suffering, still standing for us. And I didn't have the time to look because I was caught up in my own marriage or raising my children or my own job or trying to provide for my own family. And I'm sure those times it took place, but I wasn't aware enough. In my own path to self-actualization, to care beyond myself in those moments. And I'm so grateful that I'm in a place today motivated by love, knowing who I am, knowing my worth, and that my voice matters, that I can hear. I can hear the cry of the Native American peoples, and I can care. I can hear the cry of the Syrian refugees, and I can care. And all of you are hearing this too. You are seeing this. You are feeling this. You are embodying this, and that is motivated from love. That's love. That's love in action. Being able to put away any fears that somebody who believes differently than you, looks differently than you, loves differently than you, is a threat to you, and that you must protect yourself or your land or your country, anything from them. People you don't know. You know, I hear people say all the time, California's a bubble. We live in a bubble. Bull. We broke the bubble. We popped it. And let me explain what I mean by that. The reason why California is such a huge advocate for equality and rights is because we know these people. We have Muslims. We have the LGBT community. We have every single race. We have every walk of life living within these communities. They are our neighbors. They are our co-workers. They are our brothers and sisters. They have integrated into our families. We have interracial relationships all over this state, predominantly in specific areas where we're thriving in diverse cultural love and acceptance. We've moved beyond tolerance. I really, I don't embody that word, to tolerate somebody. That's ignorance. Why would I tolerate somebody when I could actually get to know them and understand them? Move beyond tolerance into acceptance and see what we have in common. Okay, so the Muslims and any other belief system, any choice of who to love, any of that, these are our people. Like, so we don't live in a bubble here. We actually set an example of what it means to actually get to know the people you hate. How can you hate somebody you do not know? I think that it should be a rule that if you're going to hate somebody, you got to get to know them, right? You got to get to know them to see if you could still genuinely fear them. Because hate is led by fear. It's motivated by fear. An ability to stand up for what we believe in is not fear-driven. An ability to move beyond what we're told we should act like, look like, think like. There's no fear in that. That's breaking free of fear and loving ourselves and others enough to do that, to stand up. And I know that you guys feel good like I feel good, right? Like, don't you guys feel amazing? Don't you feel amazing standing for something bigger than yourself? It's a good day to have a good day. Good day to have a good day, my friends. Yes, Roanne, love thy neighbor. It is the purest teaching. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself. And there is no justification that can change that law, that universal law, right? That what we do to others, we do to ourselves. Our indifference towards others' suffering, even if we justify it by a fear-led need to protect ourselves and our way of life, is not the teaching of love thy neighbor. There's no way around that. Forcing other people to believe like we believe is not cleansing the earth. It is soiling ourselves. It is creating dirt on us. Can't we see this? Can't we see this? Where would Jesus be today if he were here? Where would he be? I got water dripping on me. Right? He likely wouldn't be allowed in this country. He'd probably be detained at an airport. Let's get real about that. And so, if we want to preach about any teachings, we should be practicing them. And to have the courage to stand up and practice truly loving thy neighbor, being willing to make sacrifices, not embodying fear of loss, is essential. And moving forward to complete this shift that's taking place in every activist's heart, I'm going to say to you, ignore ignorance. Ignore any arrows of ignorance flung at you. You have no time for that. You have no time for any judgments shot at you. You have no time for that. That is to invoke parts of you that still need clearing. Recognize the mirror being offered there. When people cast their judgments upon you or try to belittle what you're doing by saying things like, well, why aren't you standing up for these people? Or point out shortcomings in you as if you have no right to stand bigger than yourself because you yourself embody shortcomings. Dismiss that. Recognize the mirror being offered to you. Move beyond it. Move beyond it with love for yourself and for others. Knowing that within yourself you are embodying pure teachings and principles of loving thy neighbor, of being what is right, of being the change in the world, and having the courage to do that. Let me move away from the drip here, guys. Ignore the ignorance. Ignore the judgment. Do not let judgment stop you, and do not become judgment and arrogance and ignorance in the face of it. Don't embody what is being shot at you. Recognize it as an opportunity, because if it triggers something in you and you want to go to battle and you want to fight with that person, be it words or whatever, you want to point out stuff, recognize, wow, this is in me. This is in me. Thank you for showing me what's still in me, or I would not be triggered here today. Thank you for showing me that I can fear being judged. Thank you for showing me that that fear exists in me still. And then clear that. Acknowledge that that fear is still in you. Clear it, release it by choosing not to take the bait. Not to take the bait. We are standing up for what is right, what we know, what deep in the soul of every single human being on this earth is right. We all know it, every single one of us. We are letting go of any justifications of fear of loss that would stop us from what is right. We're letting that shed. So when those fears and those justifications not to stand for what is right, when those arrows are shot at you, let them bounce off of you. Let that bubble of light that you are surrounded by, that, just be so big and so mighty and so fueled by light that these arrows, they just bounce off of you. They are tiny and minuscule compared to the light that you are embracing, the love that you are, the love that you are carrying and holding for your neighbors. Hold that. Hold that. Because moving forward, it is embracing love in all of our thoughts and actions. Love for ourselves and for others. And we move into loving the others who would judge us, who would call us names. We move beyond that into loving them by getting grateful, embracing gratitude for the mirror they're showing us. What triggers us is still in us for clearing. Isn't that cool? Like, that is rad, right? Like, you feeling that? I'm feeling that. Like, that is so rad. I look around me at all the beautiful different roles being played in my own circles, right? Beautiful roles being played, and different opinions and ideas and feelings all being voiced. And man, I'm really grateful for the ones that are inspiring me to embrace love on a deeper sense, you know what I mean? Because deep within me, I don't want to go to battle with anyone who feels differently than me, and losing people that we're super close to and battling with them on ideas and opinions, it's hurtful, right? So I'm choosing not to fear the loss of them, rather to just experience gratitude for the role they're playing, and it's empowering me. It's empowering me to embrace more love for the cause, for the purpose, to be able to be selfless and to not fear any loss, any way of life, what comes. what lies ahead. I'm focused right here, right now. In every moment, we can decide who we are. And it's exciting, right? Like, just hold on to the knowing that, man, you're deciding who you are right now. And you've chosen that who you are is somebody who can love others, somebody who can care deeply about challenges, struggles, and suffering outside of yourself. You have chosen to be that. Man. I celebrate you. I see you. I love you. I love you deeply. We are choosing who we are in this experience. And we chose to be here for this experience because it would awaken us to remembering who we are and what we're capable of. There is not one material possession on this earth that is worth defending in the face of turning our backs on our brothers and sisters. And they're all our brothers and sisters. We don't have to feel exactly the same. Our beliefs do not have to be the same for us to practice what we preach, for us to follow the example we say we follow. Whoever that be. We're being gifted the opportunity to stand and say, this is who I am. I love you too. To stand and say, this is who I choose to be. And moving forward, I know, and this, I'm going to tell you guys this is how I feel, that there is nothing coming that I fear. None of it. I am courageous, clear, excited. I'm grateful for these experiences. These experiences have awoken deeper knowing and truth in me. And I know now that I chose to be here through this, and I know why. So I could let go of fear and embrace love. And that's what we're doing here. Yes, Meridian, I know you know who you are. Ah, Rebecca, I love you so much, and thank you for your voice, my love, all the way in another country, love it on us, keeping it real. Look, here's the deal. If you remember nothing else from this video, moving forward, if ignorance shot at you triggers you, look for how you can choose to respond by not responding. If we're triggered, it's in us, it's ready for release. Keep moving forward. If you know in your heart and your soul that you're doing what's right for others, that you are standing for something greater than yourselves and not fearing the loss of any of this, that we consider our way of life, if you're moving beyond the idea that there are borders, that we are all children on this planet of some great creator, and that we don't get to decide for each other who that is and force others, restrict others, even murder others who don't agree with us. Embody that love to keep moving forward and not take the bait. Don't take the bait. Allow that bait, transform it to being a mirror for you to discover what is in you and let it go and keep moving forward for what you know in your heart is right, what's growing in you. We're all connected. Yes, we are all connected. You're so right. Man, I am pumped up right now. This is my third cup of coffee. That's okay though. I'm full of light and love and joy, and I've never felt so good. So good, right? So take that and really get clear about how you feel about yourself and move away from how you feel about what could go wrong in the world. I'm not saying don't recognize it, don't call it out. Call that shit out. Call it out, right? And release it from you at the same time. We're being gifted the opportunity to face all our fears right now, right? And we're facing many. So face them all with love. Because only love abolishes fear. I love y'all.